students, welcome to next lecture 11. So today we'll continue regarding this AAS, atomic absorption spectroscopy. In the previous video we have seen up to the atomizer. We have come to this atomizer here in the from the instrument, and this atomizer is of three types. I had said you that is your flame atomizer, then one is electrothermal atomizer, and the cold vapor atomizer. Okay, so this is what three types of atomizer is there in this atomization. And in the nebulizer, so this is also one of the important instrumental part, I can say, in AAS nebulizer. And this here the sample is converted to tiny droplets, I said here. Okay, and this is a part where the sample whatever you're using is converted to tiny droplets. Okay, this is important. And we call it as aerosol, and it mixes with the fuel and reaches to the atomizer. Now if you see this atomization steps, the first step I can say that it is nebulization. Okay, nebulize we will do it. And the second is the desolvation here, so desolvation. Okay, then third it is your volatilization. Then fourth step is your dissociation. Then the fifth steps is ionization. And the last is your excitation. Okay, excitation. This is what the trend follows. Okay, in the atomization process. So you see the first is the nebulization. So this is very much important, where the sample enters and get mixed with the solution there in nebulizer. And then desolvation means what, we have to remove the solution there. Okay, so that is what we have to because the sample is in present with the solution. Okay, so this solution we have to remove it, so that is called dissolution. That then volatilization means what, in the solution whatever the atoms will be there of the respective and what we are interested, so that should be volatile. So the next step is volatilization. So it should carry with the fuel, okay, to the atomizer. Next is dissociation. So this should dissociate all things. The atoms should dissociate like this. Okay, like dissociation. Then ionization, they ionize. And finally excitation, they get hit with the radiation, and then they get excited, and you are going to see they are going to emit the radiation, and that can be detected by the detector. So this is how the steps undergo. Sometimes in examination it comes that what is the step followed in atomization, something like that, and they give the steps like nebulization, desolvation, like this they give. So you have to see the steps is important. So this is the steps you have to remember. Okay, so this will help you for the order of the atomization. So sometimes they will ask you. So now if you go this, and what is this tiny droplets? Tiny droplets means it consists of what? Now as I said, now here it consists of your sample plus you consist of your solvent. This is what important. Okay, and that solvent should be, desolvation is there, and volatilization, so that solvent should be removed, this one. Okay, this we have to remove, and sample only has to be made. Dissociation, ionization, and excitation, this is what we have to do in the next step. This is what happens when you go for the from the tiny droplets. Okay, you can see that diagram in the yesterday's video, and you compare that with the statement what I'm discussing today. Now the next concept here is the energy here. So, okay, so not absorbed, transmitted from the flame. So whatever the flame is there, so in from here, okay, so the sample is evaporated, and it comes here, atomize here, ionize here, and excite here. So when we hit it by 589 nanometer of sodium from the cathode lamp, okay, yesterday's video. So this is what we see here, and they excite here, and when it come, it transmit, and the transmitted radiation comes to the slits, and from slits it go to the detector. This is how the instrument works. Okay, this is what you have to keep in the mind here. And always the graphical, how you determine now the concentration of the unknown sample here, so which is here sample you are taking, and from nebulizer to flame. So how this is concentration is been detected, it is by the Beer-Lambert's law, by taking the graph of absorbance versus concentration. Okay, and a straight line you get here. And for this what you have to do, you have to take a calibration curve first. Okay, you have to take a calibration curve. What is this calibration curve? So known concentration. Okay, always calibration is taken by the known concentration. You have to prepare a known concentration of, suppose if you want to sodium, so you have to take a very standard salt of sodium and prepare the calibration curve, which comes like this. Okay, then you take your sample to be analyzed. Okay, and that you can one solution you can take it and you can fix where it comes the absorption, and then you can put a line like this and you get what here? Concentration. This you get here concentration. Okay, so this is how the concentration of the unknown solution present can be determined. So main thing here is your what you say, this is your unknown concentration. So main thing is your the calibration curve here. This should be very important. Okay, then you can pick your solution among one of the, because calibration curve at least 5 you are going to do, 1 2 3 4 5. So one concentration you can prepare of unknown solution of one concentration, take the absorption, cut it here, and whatever the concentration you get, this is how we calculate the concentration of the unknown sample by Beer-Lambert's law. So this is what. Okay, now if you see the application of this AAS. Okay, so AAS, it is used to determine elements, or which element is present, that is which element is present. Okay, that is we can determine. So I can take any sample from the water. I don't know what is the metal ions present in that sample. Okay, take a sample and do this experiment and put this calibration curve and you get the concentration, and you can know which element is present. That is important. And what concentration, so this is also important, and what concentration is present in the sample, that can be detected. Okay, so this is one application of this instrument. And even it is used to determination of metallic elements. It is used to determination of metallic elements. This is important in food industry. Okay, in food industry, this is also the second application, major application I can say, because recently we have seen that in lead content was there found in what is that you eat, what is that worm like Maggie, yeah. So this is what, so they detected lead was present recently. So this is how in food industry you can see, not only this example, so many packed foods, they contain such type of toxic elements. Okay, what we use, what to do, so such things can be detected by this AAS. Okay, next you can see it is in the determination of calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium in serum, in blood serum. This is important. Okay, always this part is very much, how calcium, magnesium, sodium, so they are very good in metabolic mechanism. So this can be detected in serum. And also you can determine the lead in petrol, as I said now just. So in petrol, before it was, now it is unleaded petrol used. Okay, but can't say, so sometimes there will be this presence. So any inspector can come and check this lead content in the petrol also. Okay, so this also can be one of the application can be we can tell it. Okay, so next, if you see, yeah, even in the cold drinks. Okay, as I said now, even in the cold drinks, any mixing is there, pesticide, yeah, any mixing, metallic harm mixing will be there. So that can be also detected from this what you say, experiment, that is your AAS experiment. Now coming to the next concept here. Okay, so one by one we will have some so this is what about the application. Now we will go somewhat the step by step with knowing some of the facts of this AAS. Okay, so first thing is what HSCl. What is this HSCl? HSCl is nothing but hollow cathode lamp. Okay, not hydrochloric acid. HCl is a hollow cathode lamp here. Okay, so this is very much suitable. This is very much suitable for AAS, atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, and the radiations emitted from here. So whatever the radiations is emitted from here, HCl is a narrow line here. So from hollow cathode lamp, whatever this radiation is been coming out will be a narrow line. This you have to understand. Okay, so the cathode lamp is here. So whatever the this radiation is coming here, so it will be a narrow line radiation. Narrow line. Why? Because exactly that emitted radiation only is coming out. So that is why. So this is thing you have to keep in the mind. But one thing is there, always you see one limitation of this use of this cathode lamp HCl is your hardening of lamp. HARDNING. This term is hardening of lamp. This they use sometimes. They ask for 2 marks also. What is hardening of HCl? Okay. So what is this hardening of HCl? Because this is one limitations we can also say, one of the limitations of the HCl hardening. Okay, what is this hardening here. So that's what the hardening process of lamp, hardening process of halocathodic lamp. This makes unsuitable, actually unsuitable for your atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, and this makes even the pressure inside the tube. Okay, so this halocathode tube what we are using here, that is a gas here, inert gas in the previous video. So this is going to make this hardening process going to make this unsuitability of the AAS by decreasing the pressure also. So pressure is decreased inside here. Okay, so this is why this happens. It happens inside the halocathode lamp. Okay, pressure is low and everything. Why this happens? Because of the free atoms. Okay, so free atoms which is present. Okay, and you hit that with the apply the voltage between these two electrodes here. Okay, anode and cathode. So the atoms is there here. There is inert gas in the tube. So whatever here, the free atoms whatever is there, they diffuse out here. Okay, and they trap in, so they diffuse out here the free atoms and they trap inside this inert gas. Okay, and they get trapped inside this inert gas molecules, and so the pressure in HCl now lowers. So the pressure here lowers, and that process we call it as a hardening. That process we call as a hardening of the HCl. So that's why usually this HCl is made of most of the transition elements. Okay, so why these transition elements are made? Because these have sufficient long lifetime. Okay, so they are having very long lifetime or sufficient lifetime, so that's why they cannot be easily hardened. So that's why in most of the HCl transition elements is used, because they're having long lifetime or sufficient lifetime. Okay, so this is very much important. So how we can come out of this hardening process is this. Otherwise argon we are going to take, so argon also will help have this property. So this is how we can propose. The second point to consider here in AAS is reaction. Okay, for example, if I want to go for Fe+3 here, okay, estimation using some oxygen flame or some hydrogen flame here. So what happens here, the absorbance decreases here. So if I want to see here, so absorbance what I am going to get, which will fit into the Beer-Lambert's law, will decrease here. This also you have to keep in the mind. So this will decrease on addition if I take sulfate. So this is very much important. Okay, so while taking any of the metal ions of our interest here, so we have to see that there should not be an interaction. Okay, so that way we have to see the solute or whatever the reagents we are using should be free from the reactive species. Okay, so there should not be any reaction. So here what will happen, if this is there, sulfate is present in this condition, experimental condition, what will happen, the absorbance of this will decrease. Okay, with addition of this, and that's why you can see the result will not be proper. So this also you have to keep in the mind. It's not so easy that you take and do. No, so always selection of reagents also is very much important. Contamination is also very much important before going for that particular Beer-Lambert's law. So otherwise there will be absorption decrease, then what is the use? Then whole your experiment will be spoiled and you get a very wrong concentration of that particular element, I can say. Okay, so, okay, fine. Now next, if you take into consideration is your mercury lamp. As you have seen in some of the previous stripping and this, we have taken electrodes of mercury stripping. So, and even if you see a mercury lamp also is there, is it right? Light lamps whatever on the street we are using, they're all mercury lamps nowadays. So this mercury lamp, yes, we cannot use. This is important. Okay, we cannot use for AAS. Always the suitable lamp is your HCl only, that is halo cathode lamp, and this cathode should be the same element which you are interested to analyze. So this is a important. Okay, so you don't go for this. Next point you have to keep in the mind is the graphite furnace. Okay, if anybody asks you which is the best atomizer for AS, atomizer for the AS, I have taken here different atomizer starting while teaching you. So different three types of atomizer. If in these three, if anybody asks you which is the best atomizer, then the answer will be the second one, that is a graphite furnace. That will be your graphite furnace. There is flame atomizer also is there, cold vapor atomizer also is there, but that is not so much. But the best atomizer is your graphite furnace atomizer. So this also you have to keep in the mind here. Okay, and usually one more thing they will ask, that is your non-metals. Can non-metals detected by AS? It's not. Okay, non-metals cannot be detected. Right here, cannot be detected by AS. Only metals can be, ions can be detected. Non-metals cannot be detected in by the AAS. Okay, there is one more application, that is your one more study, that is AES. AES means what? Atomic emission spectroscopy. This is atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, this also is there. If anybody asks you which is better than this is this in simultaneous determination of the metal ions, then it is AES. Okay, AES far better than the AES. Okay, AES or one technique is ICP technique or AE atomic emission step technique is there. They are far better. So they are very better than your AES. This thing you have to keep in mind. Now you are learning this like we have learned in the thermogravimetric TGA, DTA, DSC. Okay, so which is better here? So DSC is better like this. So here also same thing. So here in if you consider these three AES and AES and AES, this is not so better. Okay, what we are learning now, if you go for this two, so definitely this is far better results for the determination of the simultaneous determination of the metal ions. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in mind. Next point to be remembered here is your the calibration curve. Okay, calibration curve. So in spectrophlorometry or photometry, whatever this calibration curve, that is your absorbance versus concentration you are taking is linear. Okay, but it comes linear only if you have some conditions, otherwise it will be non-linear like this. So when it will be non-linear here in this way, so you have to see if the concentration of analyte what you are going to take is high. If the concentration of analyte if you take is high, so then you are going to get non-linear calibration curve. So this also you have to keep in the mind. The analyte concentration should not be more. Okay, if it is more, then non-linear curve you are going to get. Okay, why? Because light cannot pass through the sample, because you are taking the high concentration here, and when it is irradiated by particular cathode lamp here, so light cannot pass through each atom here. So what will happen here, the light will be will not be reached, and excitation state will not be proper, and you are going to get this non-linear graph here. So this is what you have to keep in the mind. Next is your sensitivity. Okay, if anybody asks you how you call this as AES as a sensitivity, so how you on what base you say the sensitivity. Okay, so this can be explained in the based on the ability. Okay, so it is based on the ability of distinguishing the two different concentrations of analyte. This is called sensitivity. Okay, if the instrument can be able to distinguish between two different concentration of analyte very beautifully, so definitely we say that sensitivity is more. Okay, and that's what AES do. AES also is a very good sensitive nature, because why? We are using same cathode. Okay, same cathode. But if it is multiple of metal ions, then definitely AES or IPC can be recommended, I can say. Okay, so this is how you have to keep in the mind. The correct form of Beer-Lambert's law. Now here, correct form of Beer-Lambert's law. So sometimes they ask you can be given by the formula A is equal to minus log T. This thing you have to keep in the mind. Okay, A is equal to minus log T. Okay, so this is what about the important for source. Okay, it is very important for the source of lamp. Yes, narrow lamp I have told you already. Okay, so let me go for now the Beer-Lambert's law. We will talk about this Beer-Lambert's law now. Beer-Lambert's law. Okay, since the whole this concept of AS is on the Beer-Lambert's law, so this is what we can see here. Okay, and what does this law say? Our law say the decrease in intensity, okay, decrease in intensity of incident light, decrease in intensity of incident light with thickness is directly proportional to intensity of incident light. This is what. Okay, so Beer-Lambert's law, the decrease in intensity of incident light. So you are inciding from the there to the sample here. Okay, on the flame here and sample here. Okay, the decrease in the intensity of the incident light with thickness. Okay, you are taking sample here like this. Okay, so this is a thickness. Okay, this is a thickness here with thickness is directly proportional to the intensity of incident light. Okay, So this is you have to understand here. Okay, so the decrease in the intensity of incident light. Okay, I will take it here. This is a L here. Now is a thickness here. Okay, and you are incidenting here, and then this is transmitted here. Now transmitted here, and here you are going to see detector. Here it is a detector here. Okay, so this is your incident light here. Okay, source of that is monochromatic wavelength here. Okay, this is source of light which is having a fixed wavelength here. Okay, now here you are incidenting, that is given by I naught here, incident light. Okay, so incident ray I naught, and this is your sample here having of thickness L. Okay, and it is transmitted, is I transmitted here, and you get the detector afterwards. So here what happens now, decrease in intensity of the incident. Now it will decrease now because some of them in the sample is going to absorb here. Okay, so intensity decreases, and it is with the thickness. Okay, and directly proportional to the intensity of the incident light. This you understand it. Okay, this is what about the Beer-Lambert's law. Now if you go for the integrating of this, so I can write a di by dl. Okay, is directly proportional to I. So this is what about the intensity. Okay, so this I can write here. And what is this intensity? The intensity also depends on the concentration. So I can write di by dl is directly proportional to concentration C. Okay, this is your Beer's law. Concentration means your Beer's law. Okay, and if Beer's law and thickness, okay, if both combines, it becomes Beer-Lambert's law. Is it right? So I can write here now minus di by dl is directly proportional to IC. Okay, this is your Beer-Lambert's law. Both I have considered here, thickness as well as intensity, and as well as concentration here. Okay, so now I can say I can remove this now proportionality. So I can write di by dl is equal to KIC. Okay, where K is what here now, you know, it's a constant here. Okay, so Beer-Lambert's constant here. So minus di by dl is equal to KIC here. So equal to KIC here. Okay, now if you integrate this here, if you integrate this concept here, so you get log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL. This is what, okay, log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL. On integrating, this is what I can say, you are going to get the final version of the what is that equation here of Beer-Lambert's law. This thing you have to keep in the mind. And what is epsilon here? Where epsilon is nothing but 1 by concentration. Okay, 1 by concentration length I can say. So this is what 1 by concentration is not what your liters per mole, and what is length here? Length is nothing but centimeters per centimeter. So this is what your epsilon. Okay, molar absorption coefficient. This is nothing but your molar absorption coefficient. It's nothing but 1 by concentration into the length here or width here. So liters per mole per centimeter. Okay, so this is what the length, the unit will be there for the molar absorption coefficient. Okay, now what is this transmittance? Transmittance can be given by I by I naught. Okay, I by transmittance can be given by this equation. You remember this also. Okay, I by I naught, I by I naught. Okay, this is your transmittance here. And absorbance is your log of I naught by I, log of I naught by I. Absorbance, or sometimes optical density, it is called as optical density, log of I naught by I. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in the mind. So transmittance over, okay, I by I naught absorbance or optical density over log of I naught by I. Okay, now this can also be given log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL. Okay, log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL, or log of T is equal to minus epsilon CL. Okay, or T is equal to, remove this log, it becomes what now? T is equal to 10 to the power of minus epsilon CL. Okay, remove this log, so T is equal to 10 raised to power of minus epsilon CL. Okay, so T is equal to, so T is transmittance is equal to 10 to the power of minus CL is what? Absorbance. See here, minus absorbance is what here I have given, no? Minus CL something, so you can check it afterwards. Okay, while making, so something. Okay, so it becomes epsilon CL. Yeah, definitely absorbance. Okay, so this is how you can take the relation. Okay, so be careful for this one, step by step how done. You also can make a point of this Now here what we have come to final, T is equal to 10 to the power of absorbance. Okay, so this is what here, or log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL. Okay, log of I by I naught is equal to minus epsilon CL. Okay, or I will reverse this now. Log of I naught by I is equal to epsilon CL. So minus is there, I have taken positive now by reversing this. Okay, so this I can take it here. So if you see this overall, it becomes like finally like A is equal to epsilon CL. Absorbance is equal to epsilon concentration and thickness. So this is how it becomes. Okay, now if you see here, and also we know that A is equal to minus log T. Okay, A is equal to minus log T, or A is equal to 2 minus log, okay, into percentage of transmission. Okay, so like this, some of the this all derivations is there. So important point, important thing, this I have taken here to understand here. So absorbance is equal to log of I naught by I, or this can I can write as minus log of I by I naught. So anything you can take it here. Okay, A is equal to log, or reverse it, minus log of I by I naught. Okay, this also you can derive. So you take some derivation point of here, anybody ask you for derivation part, then this you have to understand it. Okay, and if you take now graph of absorbance with concentration, you get straight line, or if you take transmittance with versus concentration, you get like this. These are the graph. Okay, transmittance versus concentration, this absorbance versus concentration, this. Okay, so this is how we relate. Okay, I think this is more than sufficient for today's video. Okay, so try to understand this mathematical. Okay, point to point you take down this. I think in physical chemistry you do this, you are more well I think expert in this. I think so very important, this only have taken for this B-Lambert's law, because you should know in objective type they may ask any of the equations which is right, so you should know that. That's what I have taken this. Okay, so the next video will go for the next AAS 2 or 3. I think this is a 2. Third part will go for much more some part of this AAS, and conclude our this AAS. Thank you.